We are out here today, another day of getting ready, prepping. So this is our sorter table, and there's a few issues. Even though it's brand new, custom built, there was some minor oversight where they messed up a few things. So you can see that this belt is not the same color as this belt. It's because we added this. So before, it was like that. And there's those big metal chutes, which we've got them in the shop modifying them a little. But there's big metal chutes that only came down to about here. And a lot of the stuff you throw down is gonna go right on top of these belted chains. So we added this, and like if you got a wad of vines here, somebody would end up reaching down to push that down. Well, they'd end up getting their hand caught on this chain. And you don't wanna do that. So we added this for safety, also to help things flow better. And we also bolted these, because these weren't bolted solid, they were just rattling around. But yeah, a couple things Spudnik could definitely do better. So we added those on all of them. Let me go show you what we did to the chutes on the other side. So on the other side here, we've modified two of the chutes. So these are the chutes that normally just go to here. Well, let me pull one of these down. We cut it here because the angle was going to throw the stuff right on top of that. So we cut it here and spread it open a little more. And then we added this section of belting. So now, when it's up here, hooked on, there. When it's up there hooked on, all of the stuff is going to guaranteed flow into this belt. And if we look down in the top, there's much bigger opening for stuff to flow through, okay? You can get pretty big rocks through there. And if it's a big enough rock, it'll actually push this out just a little bit. But because we pushed the belting past the metal, it doesn't pull it out, it'll just go back in. So, and now nobody can reach the hand in and get their hand caught on that belt. So just a few things that we fixed that for whatever reason, the Spudnik engineers couldn't figure out how to fix it. So a couple of redneck farmers had to figure it out. I'll go show you the ones in here we're working on. But other than that, it's all pretty well good. There's just a few minor things we thought we should fix for safety issues. So in here we have, these are the two chutes before we've put anything on them. So we just bent that out a little bit, and then we're gonna add these pieces of belting to it to extend it. So pretty simple fix. Spudnik could have done that, or they could have cut here and just extended this further down and put a flap or something on the bottom. But we figured it out because we're starting in like 2 days and we don't want to wait for Spudnik to try and figure it out. So we got it covered. Figured I'd set up this last one and show you how we do it. Granted, we skinny wheeled that already, but I'm going to bend this out just a bit more. Until it's about 1.5 to 2 inches spread out. Not that anybody else will even have this problem. Maybe Spudnik will see this video and fix it before they send any more out. have it. A finished chute. Now all we have to do is put it on. It's just like that. Now all the dirt can fall right in where it needs to be, and nobody's at risk of catching their arms and fingers on any belted chain, because we've had somebody lose some fingers and most of a hand before. Okay, now Trevor's gonna pull this up out of the way, and then in a little while we're gonna take this and I think 2 more conveyors out to the cellar, and then Spudnik should be coming out to make sure everything runs, and we're gonna show him our new bin design. Well, let's go in here and see how far back they are into the cellar. Looks like they're about at least halfway. That'd be good. Just keep loading truck after truck. I think they're doing about 15 loads a day. We'll come back here and see how they look. See how the pile looks. This cellar smells fine. It doesn't have any rotten smell at all, which is good because we've had lots of rot so far. Pile of potatoes looks good though. There's no sprouts. They did say that they're kind of sticking together, which makes me wonder if they've shrunk and they're just they've kind of molded into each other. You can see right there, like they're all just kind of fitting together now because they've all shrunk a little bit. But they're still getting them out. This cellar has 100,000 sacks in it, which is, that's about 10 million pounds of potatoes. That's how they get them to come down. Usually they come down a lot easier than that. That's why they say they're kind of sticking together. But they look really good. Well, it's good they're getting these potatoes out because we literally start potato harvest in 2 days. Granted, these will be the last cellars we get to, but this one's half full. We still have another one that's completely full. So they really need to get these out. Josh is over there hooked up to the generator, and I am hooked to this behemoth. We have to take this thing over to the cellars. So I'm on my way over there right now, and then we're gonna hardwire it in because the place where they get all the cords and electrical things, they're out of the plugs and the outlets, so it's got to be hardwired. So we're here now at the cellars, just got all the equipment here. I'm in the loader now. We have to take, so the wheels on this are adjustable. You can move them up and down, but you have to unbolt them and then lift the conveyor up and then bolt it back down. So they're in the process of unbolting the bolts on both sides and lifting it up and putting it in the right spot, because it looks like this one. So it looks like that, to where the bracket's way up high, but you can move it lower, which in turn lifts the end of the conveyor a lot higher. So that's what we're doing now. We have to kind of make all these work better for us because they have hoppers and a spout on the other end. Hopper on one end, spout on the other end, so you have to have one end be higher than the other. Well, how they came from the factory setup, they were the same height, so that wouldn't work. So luckily they did make it adjustable, so we just have to lift it up and put the bolts in different holes, and it should be just fine. Okay, well, we've done 2. We're working on the 3rd one, and we're now in the cellar. We got it lifted up. This is the one we brought out yesterday. You can see the jacks are extended all the way out. So yeah, we're getting there. You can see what we're doing. Taking those 4 bolts out, and then we lift it up, and then those 4 holes will go down here, which will lift this about a foot. high. The spout can clear the hopper. And these can be jacked up like 2 feet almost, so I'll have more than enough room to clear the hopper.
Yeah.
That's good. All right, we got it. It's in there. And there's this ram right here that you twist and it goes down.
That's good. You're about to rub the belt there.
And the taters will come off, nice and easy. Should work great. We've got all the all the conveyors adjusted. Mom and Dad came out, but we got the sorter table moving in. This is our little 20-foot conveyor, and we have that on this one, and that one runs into that one and that one, and we're able to angle it just how we want because we have hoppers and spouts on every conveyor. And now we're getting this sorted out. So we're trying to figure out exactly where to put this. We're thinking we may have to take this spout off and just dump it right onto the belt. That's what we had to do with our other one. Yeah, the spout, our old one had this same spout, and the vines and stuff get caught right here in the middle. So we just take the spout off and just dump them right here on the conveyor here. Spout removed. And then we'll just back this up and just tip this down right onto the belt. And it'll be just fine. Did you cut it?
No.
Just to scratch on the dirt?
Yeah, dude.
Trevor did it.
It's just a scratch.
We'll just take it out of his pay. Trevor gets paid? Holy smokes!
You guys are getting paid? Pick them up.
Now we'll drop this down.
I think it's okay.
Nope, right there. Unless we tighten that up like they were talking here to take some of this slack out of the bottom.
It's probably good right there. Well, we're moving it again. We're trying to decide where to put this because we have the even flow bin and it's got 2 stingers. One sticks out that way, one sticks this way. So we're thinking we need to put this further over here. So the even flow bin, because there's a big hole over there, so we need to have the even flow bin over here so there's not a truck in a hole. So good thing we're not digging spuds today because it's taking a while to set all this stuff up. And this thing is slow.
It's the first time we've set it up.
We call it Sid the Sloth. All right, we have our even flow bin placed. Well, not placed. We've got it here, but we can't move it until we get this going. Apparently there's a very tricky way to start this.
See if it's puffing white smoke and you pull it down. Pull it down.
Let's see if there's a very specific way to start it. We've never actually ran this thing. We just barely got it running. cold starting it, so you have to start it a specific way. You don't want it to just rev all the way up. But for it to run, it runs at like full RPM. It's our straight pipe generator, baby. This thing is loud. That muffler ain't doing anything. But hopefully, the even flow bin should work now. Had to shut her down. Trevor said it was smoking. Oh yeah, it smells hot. Oh yeah, there's the smoke right there. It's like we need an electrician.
We need one on call on speed dial around here.
One of the grandkids needs to go into being an electrician, and then they can just fix everything that's electrical on the farm.
I always thought we should be a chiropractor thing.
Oh, maybe we'll get this going today. Well, we couldn't get the generator running, so we unhooked this. It's just gonna have to sit until tomorrow when the electrician can come out. Everything else is pretty well set up, but we're gonna call that a day. Okay, we're out here today. Hopefully, it's a nice sunny day, so hopefully things will dry out and we'll get the rest of this set up. We're just putting the enclosure on this. We've got all the other sides, we're just finishing up the front. So the people who are in here, if it's rainy and windy and crappy, they'll be kind of out of the weather. And this actually runs really quiet when it's on. So hopefully it'll be a pretty nice work environment for everybody who's working here. All the conveyor belts we set up yesterday, so they're all good. The one thing that we're still trying to get figured out is the generator to run the even flow bin. So we did kind of get the even flow set up. We had to hook all these rams to these feet. Those are the leveling rams. So we had to hook all those up because the pins were just out on the bottoms. So we hooked that up. We also got these stingers. We got the two stingers kind of set up where we want to have trucks. So we think we're going to have a truck pulling here and back straight up. So this one's kind of straight. And then we'll have a truck pull off to that side and back up to that one. So that one's more at an angle. So we got the stingers set up. We just had to move these big turnbuckles. So it would make sure that the spuds would actually fall in the hopper versus over the side. So now we'll have two trucks being able to unload here. We have a lot of stuff going on here. But the main reason we need the generator is because the even flow is 150 amp, needs a 150 amp plug. Well, they were out of the plugs, so we had to hardwire it. So it's just hardwired together, and obviously we'll wrap these up. We're not just gonna leave them out like that. But it has to be hardwired to run this whole even flow bin. Basically to run all those three big hydraulic motors. And then the stingers actually have their own power right here. So it'll have its own power. And just the stingers call for 100 amps. So this new equipment draws a lot more power than the old stuff. And we have to use the generator because I guess we were talking to the guy we're renting these cellars from. He was saying that the last time they ran this much equipment here, it actually melted the transformers off the poles. So we don't want to do that. So we're gonna run our biggest thing, which is the even flow bin, off the generator. So hopefully we don't have any power issues here. The other places, the other two cellars, the other two places we're gonna be unloading spuds, we're actually just gonna have, there's enough power there that we're just gonna have a breaker put in for this. So it won't be an issue. So we now have the electrician over here One reason that was smoking yesterday is I guess this motor that runs the fan burned up. This one, it burned up. So that's what all the smoke coming out of this little box was. That's the only thing that goes into that. So that fan burned up yesterday, and that was the problem for that. But hopefully we can get this running properly, how it's supposed to. And then this cover right here will go on this other side, because right now all the lugs are just open. So when it's running, if you touch one of those, you're essentially dead. So that cover will go right here. And for anybody who's wondering, we have covers, but we're trying to get this all fixed up and going. We got to get it going today because Spudnik is going to come out and make sure all the equipment is running how it's supposed to. But we got to have this going before they come out.
Stop spinning.
Trying to get this thing figured out. Gotta make sure the fan's spinning the right way.
Yeah, what about that?
And we gotta make sure that it's generating power.
Safeguard breaker, does that do anything?
You have to watch this gauge and have to let it go up to 65 and then hold it there. And then you'll feel this release.
Good thing somebody knows how to do that.
So it's supposed to be
I'm just
pushing
guessing.
out.
The guy just showed us.
Yeah. Huh?
It's supposed to be pushing out.
Yeah.
It's going the wrong way.
Yeah.
So there's this
It's like we gotta switch something. Looks like it's running now. Ohming the wires coming out to see how much power we have. So Christopher's going over here. He's gonna turn on some stuff over there. And we'll see how the generator reacts and if it ohms correctly. There's also a big 800 amp breaker on the other side that was tripping yesterday, but we also had some stuff unhooked and not hooked the right way, so hopefully we have our hooks the right way now. Oh, also, we have porta potties, because we have to have porta potties. We have to have a bathroom everywhere we're at for the GAP certification, because our potatoes have to be certified. So we have porta potties here, so our potatoes will be certified. Isn't that weird how that works? But all the people who work out here have to have somewhere to go to the bathroom that won't contaminate the potatoes. So, porta potties. It looks like it's working. They're starting to hook. They're going to hook up the hydraulics for the steering right now, and then we'll drive it up, back it up to the hopper of the sorter table. Now we have steering. Yeah, there's pins in the middle of this wheel. That little piece in the middle locks the wheels. Our old one had chains. It was chain driven, so it's nice now that it's pins instead of, it's hydraulic motors instead of chains. Josh went inside and he took there was braces on the boom. So Josh took the brace off the boom that was on the inside. So we can move that up and down. Our old one went really fast. This one, I mean, it's faster than everything else, but it's still not fast. But we'll back it up over here to the hopper. We'll probably have to readjust those stingers on that end because it's gonna be a different position than where it was sitting. So, but man, that looks so nice. Nice new shiny paint. And that paint will last a long time. I mean, our old one was still red. It was faded, but it's still red. See how long this one lasts. Should last a while. Try and get it straight. Yeah, over here that generator's not too loud, but it is a loud generator. That's barely gonna fit over that. Oh, it can? No, it's all the way down.
Well, this has jacks, I guess.
Have to do a little bit of adjusting. It's just barely gonna clear this. Yeah. We've never had the generator working until now. It's finally working. We've had that generator for like, when did we get that generator? Like 6 months ago? We've had it for like 6 months and it's finally working. Yeah, we've never had it running for more than a couple minutes. So the fact that it's actually running is good news. We were kind of afraid it wasn't going to work. This generator used to be at a government site. It was a backup generator for all of their stuff at this government site up on a mountain. But they said they never used it, so it's basically new, even though it's probably 20 years old. Slow and steady. Get it right where we want it. You definitely have a wide hopper.
That's straight.
Pretty good, pretty straight. You might want to go further that way just so this motor's inside the hopper, so the hopper won't be hitting on it. But
I just want to be right in the middle.
okay.
Straight up there, then, if you want to be right. You might be just this way in middle.
I hate it.
Ooh.
Oh, does this go down any lower?
No, it does not.
Well, the jacks, we raised those jacks
Oh.
up quite a ways.
Yeah, we can
So
lower.
we can put the full front down a little bit.
Yeah, we may have to drop these jacks down because it's hitting. That motor is touching right there.
Those down a little. And push it up.
That's probably about good.
I need to go forward and get
Yeah.
straighter.
I need to go that way.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not quite straight. We'll get it.
No, digo,
Here, this
no, está
side
bien,
is,
le quita más allá, todavía queda en medio.
but you still got 8 inches of belt on this side,
Ahora,
Christopher.
ok, ya pasó. Okay.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
We are a little to that side, but now the motor's at least not
There's
hitting.
motor here, right
You're
here.
holding right here on the belt.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit over, but there's motor here, right here.
So, I mean, you got
I don't
6
think-
Well,
inches
this
of belt.
isn't going to go. We're not going to move this up at all.
I think it'll be okay.
I think that's fine.
You ready to put the jacks down?
Yeah.
Christopher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This you pull this out for the wheel drive and you push it in for the bottom belt to go. So
Go up and
that's
down.
the speed for the belt. This is the belt control. There we go.
First you go right here.
Yeah, that's the speed for the belt. Now let's get it all supported and leveled and we'll be good. All right, we've got the jacks all down and pinned. Christopher's got this open. And look at that lovely panel. Everything's so nice and tidy. So far, I think all the belts are going the right way. There's the one right there that's going. Doesn't want to focus, but there it is. It's going. We got everything on and running. We think we haven't tripped it in a while. We have Spudnik. He's from Spudnik. He's out here to make sure we get everything hooked up the right way. Fun fact about this even flow bin, just the bin. It's pulling enough power when it's running at full load to power 41 microwaves. So that kind of gives you an idea of how much power it's pulling. In a house, you typically couldn't run 2 microwaves on one breaker, would pop it. So 41 microwaves of power right here. Now we just got to get this thing running. These still aren't hooked up. We got to hook those up. But yeah, we're actually gonna end up hooking the sorter table to the generator as well, because we have to have enough power draw on the generator so that we don't hurt the generator. That generator is a 200 kilowatt generator. And if we put the even flow bin, the stingers, and the sorter table on the generator, it will pull probably about 100 kilowatts. So it shouldn't hurt it. But with just this running with no load, it's only running like 12 kilowatts, which if we ran that long enough, it would probably hurt the generator. So we got to make sure we're, hey look, Trevor's just back there diddling on his phone. It's hard to find good help these days. But yeah, we're gonna get this all running. Now we're gonna try and turn the sorter table and all the conveyors and the piler on all together and see if the auto works. So it's all got auto, so if one thing stops, everything stops. So we're gonna test the auto and see if it all works. Trevor's got the master switch in there to start everything back up. They gotta go, and there's these boxes on each conveyor has a box. You gotta turn it all to auto and make sure the emergency stops are all off, and then it should work. Oh, that didn't sound good. All these new ones have this phase switch. So if you get into a cellar and you plug in and the belts are going backwards, you just flip this and it goes the right way. So instead of having to switch your cords and stuff, you just switch this. So that's a good thing they put on. But when it goes backwards, the chain jumps really bad. So you definitely know when it's going backwards. But we're headed down here in the cellar to make sure the piler and everything goes the right way, which we did test it the other day, and I'm pretty sure it all goes the right direction. All right, we're down here at the piler now, putting the downriggers down so it doesn't tip over if you swing it side to side. and there's a remote. So he's got a remote control that we're going to test all the autos, so you don't have to stand right here to run it. There's a remote for it. So we're going to get it all set and then test the remote and see, make sure the remote works and that everything goes the right direction. And Trevor has a nice spot to sit down.
Rocking chair.
It's a rocking chair for Trevor. There's the remote. Does seem to be working. But yeah, we have to check, make sure everything's going the right direction. A lot of technical stuff. We're gonna be digging tomorrow probably, so we gotta make sure this all works today. Boom seems to be working. All the belts are turning on. You're saying that this is a speed sensor. So if you put your hand under there, so if there's a pile of potatoes, it'll speed up. So it doesn't get too many potatoes piling right here.
We need a lot of potatoes.
Yeah, if it fills up with potatoes, it speeds up on its own. And then when there's no potatoes, it goes nice and slow. That's pretty cool. I got Anastasio here. He's got his new toy. He's got his new toy he gets to play with. He's the one who runs this thing. He's gonna be like a kid in a candy store with this thing.
Oh, so yeah, you might want to. Have you turned this on yet?
Yeah, we've started. I don't know that we ran the hopper. Well, no, I think we ran everything.
Okay, well, that should be good. Now, how come it's not on now? Oh, it's on hand.
All this stuff's working. Now we'll suck these together so there's no gap. That's adjustable. This is going the wrong way. The dirt one's going the wrong direction. There we go. Now all the conveyor belts should all be going. Yeah, they're all going. Okay, this one's not plugged in. I was looking at that one. I was like, it's not working. That one over there. So they're all working. That's good. We'll have a little bit of a drop here because actually we might could tip this down a little bit more now. So now you can see the little shaker. So this little arm has these rollers right here. They go up and down, and so it just kind of shakes. It just helps shake off a bunch of the dirt. And then all the dirt will fall down here onto this belt that runs over there into and to hear where the dirt is. So our harvester and crossover both have this same system, and it works really well. Just helps shake the potatoes a little bit without bruising them. Now all this new stuff has speed controls. You can change the speed of the belts, and that's something we've never had before. Other than this bottom belt, we had a speed control for that, but all the other stuff has speed controls, which is nice. Just testing out all the buttons and switches and knobs and make sure it's all working. So when we get into harvest tomorrow, everything works. So we just tighten these up. It's just a hydraulic lever over here that tightens these up or opens them up, depending on what you're trying to do. So we tighten them up so I don't think a potato will fit through there. That's only about less than a ½ inch gap. It looks a lot bigger on the camera. But that's like less than a ½ inch gap between those rollers. So. Oh, it's nice to finally see all this stuff running. We were worried. We either weren't gonna have enough power or there'd be a problem. And one day before harvest, we wouldn't have any way to fix it. So I'm glad everything is running. Well, everything's running except for our expandable. So came down here in the cellar to check, see why this wouldn't be running on auto at least. It was running on hand, but we're trying to run everything on auto. That way if one thing stops, everything stops. So we are trying to figure this out. Okay, they're working. The problem was we had so many conveyors hooked together that we didn't have enough power when it got to this one. It was tripping the VFD in there. The VFD controls the speed, so you can speed up and slow these ones down, just the expandable. So what we did is this cord was hooked all the way to the piler, and it was just running the piler. So instead, we hooked that cord to this end of the conveyor, which has wires and cords that daisy chain these all together, and there was a plug right there. So we plugged from the end of this conveyor into the piler, and now that's running it. So it's running this conveyor, these two, I guess. This is an expandable. It's running this, and it's running the piler, and it's working. There's a speed controller right here that will probably just speed all the way up, because why not? All the rest of them are going full speed. It's only this expandable that even has a speed controller, so we got it working. Hopefully it stays working.
That fixed the problem.
It's nice to figure out what works. We had to rewire a plug, so it plugged in because we had the wrong plug. So we just plugged in this cord that runs to the two stingers on the front of the even flow bin. That's the one last thing we have not tested. So let's go test it. Let's go see if these stingers will turn on and go the right direction, because odds are they're probably going to go backwards, because that seems to be always what happens. And they won't turn on. Well, that's good. Josh and Trevor went back over there. We forgot to turn the breaker on that runs to this plug, because each of those plugs has its own breaker. So as soon as they turn it on, we should have power here. Let's turn this to see. Ah! It works! It's alive! Let's test this other one. See if this one turns on. Yeah, buddy. That'd be awesome if we could unload 2 trucks at full speed. We'll see. We're gonna push this thing to its limits to see if it works or not. turn this off for now. But it's working. Turn this one off. Now they also have a hydraulic right here. Man, it's hard to see where I'm reaching for when I'm looking through a camera. So it's got a hydraulic ram at the top, so you can have it down. When the truck's back up, there's a handle right here, so you can swing it side to side if the truck isn't quite perfectly straight. And then you just lift the hydraulic up to meet up to the bottom. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, good to go. Okay, we're back out here after lunch. The Spudnik electrician's out here because one problem we were having is a couple of these e-stops, emergency stop. There was a couple of them that weren't working, so we've got it running now. So he's gonna check it and see if the emergency stops are working. So one benefit of being 20 minutes from Spudnik is all of their service guys can get out here real fast. So let's walk down here and see if it works. So this is the culprit. This is our expandable. For whatever reason, that little red button right there just does not want to work. It works on hand. If we flip it to hand, it works. When we flip it to auto, it will not work. So that's the electrician right there. He's looking through the manual, trying to see if there's anything we're overlooking. So we'll get it figured out before harvest. Actually, I think later today we might be going and getting, I think we're gonna load up 4 or 5 trucks and come run it across and see how it all works. Make sure there isn't anything that is gonna trip while it's under load. Because right now, nothing is under load. There's nothing on here. So there's no weight to trip anything. So we want to get it loaded up to see how it's going to work when there's actually potatoes on it. The main thing we want to know is this going to keep running? Because we had to rob this cord from our piler way down there, and now we hooked it to the expandable, and then it's running the power through to the piler. So we've never done it like that before, and we're curious whether or not when the piler gets a load on it, if it's going to trip because it's now running this as well. So just a couple things that we're a little leery of, that we hope we have it set to where it'll work. But yeah, that's what we're working on right now. Well, we got it sorted. There was just one wire that was in the wrong position inside the panel. So all the emergency stops work. We try to make sure that everything, all the automatics work and all the emergency stuff works, because I mean, you got to think of safety when you're farming, because all of this stuff is very dangerous if you've got your hands in the wrong spot. We've had a few accidents on the farm and we don't want to have any more. So it's all working good. I'm going to end the video here. Tomorrow we're going to dig and we're going to start and we're going to load all this stuff up with spuds. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.